Hello players. Now if you're hearing dueling banjos, so am I. I'm completely out in the sticks here, in the middle of nowhere. I actually have no idea where I am. I'm probably trespassing, but let's get this over and done with pretty quick, okay? What's in the bag? Some things have changed a little since the beginning of the year and the middle of the year. Mostly the same. But the big news is I've sold out for nothing. I've sold out for free. Literally no payment. But I want to make a brand better known among you players because there's alternatives out there that don't require tons of cash for quality stuff. And that brand, as you may have seen in the past, I've been wearing this stuff and playing this stuff because I bought it from Decathlon, is Inesis. Now this is one of the My Golf Spies brands they like to call the value brands, but to be honest, it's actually true. Now I'm not making any cash for this. I'm literally just playing the products to let you know that they're actually good and there's an alternative out there for you. So in this, what's in the bag? It's all in the Inesis bag. This is nice quality, good little zips here. Should probably hurry up. I think someone's going to come arrest me. Obviously we have the bag tag, Playa-in-Chief, member of the Players Club. You know how I roll. We've got the Inesis glove here. These are very nice soft leather gloves. I normally use leather. These ones are about the same price, but they feel much harder after you've played in a while. This is what it looks like after one round in the tropics. It's a very nice glove. Inesis, not a problem. Okay, now we get on to the nitty-gritty of this video, the most important part, which is actually my after golf shoes, which a lot of people don't talk about, but I am going to talk about, okay? Now this may be a bit counter to what a lot of players may think, but Crocs is where it's at, players. These are the best flip-flops I've ever owned. I love wearing flip-flops, but the normal plain old flat ones always used to give me a bit of a backache from, I don't know what it is, if it's the heel striking harder or something like that. But since getting these Crocs, no back pain wearing flip-flops. You got to get on them, boys. Onto the serious part. Driver, still the Z785 driver from Strixon, still a Bouse. Having a bit of trouble with it at the moment. In this one is still the hazardous 62 gram 6.0 shaft. Okay, I'm going to treat these nicely now because a lot of people get offended if I drop them on the floor. Plus I also want to make a quick getaway in case someone comes to, I don't know, hurt me. Okay, of course you've got to have towels, a bit of a water player towel. This one will often be wet and then wrapped around my camera so it doesn't overheat in the sun. Now a new addition to the bag, an old new addition. I've taken out the higher iron, I think it's a 4-iron in the Strixon set, and I've put in a wooden 5-wood. This thing is lethal from about 220 to 235 when I'm going for those par 5s in 2. This is still the original Honma Haganah steel shaft. I don't know what the flex is, but it's pretty potent, this thing. I mean, I've always loved wooden woods. I grew up playing wooden woods and now it's in the bag permanently until I can find a better solution for fairway shots from 225. Okay, I'm just worried. Still the same 2-iron, the ZU85 2-iron, still the same thing. This one comes and goes with form depending how much I've slept. Same. Okay, now this is the interesting part. I've taken the 4-iron out and I've only got the 5, 6 and 7-iron from the Strixon Z585s. Now the problem I'm having from 7-iron down or 8-iron down is that the ball is going too far and then it's going the right distance and then it's going too far, where I end up overshooting greens and getting into a real short siding and making bogeys when the ball flight makes me think I'm right next to the hole. So I'm keeping the 5, 6 and 7, which in old lofts are 4, 5 and 6 irons. Okay, so it's 5, 6, 7, but in old lofts 4, 5, 6, which means that I have put the MP62 7-iron back in the bag. Now this one is my favorite club from the MP62s, so this is going to help me to hold the green more because there's a bit more spin on these blades than they are on the cavity back with the hot faces. Those hot faces really sometimes cause the ball to have too low spin and overshoot the green. So that's not what I need. And inside 160 yards, 165 yards, I really need some like distance control and spin to hold the greens. So when I hit the 7-iron and the Mizunos, I know it's going to be a 168 to 172 yard shot. Not like with the Strixon 7-iron, which I can be like 175 up to 192 up to 200 yards. You just don't know what's going to come out. So I use the Strixon as a 6-iron, and then the 7-iron is back in the bag. Now the very interesting part here is I might even take that old 7-iron out, and because I play the 8 and the 9 from the MS5 Mizunos, look at that, like an amputated toe. Now I play these two, 8 and 9, because I don't know, I just love the way they feel. I've hit the ball nicely in a round with a couple subscribers. I was playing Belata balls and these irons completely, and I mean, I just fell in love with them. They go like the same distance as modern irons, so, but they spin a little bit more and also have very tight distance dispersions. So I've got the 8 and the 9 in. I'm thinking about taking the 7-iron from the MP62 out and actually having 7, 8 and 9 from these clubs. I believe they're from the 80s. So I've got the 8 and the 9 in the bag. Now these are potent. These are potent. I love these two clubs. So when I'm like 160 yards for the 8 and 150 yards for the 9, I've got a club for it and I know it's going to work. Move on to wedges. Still the same wedges. 50, 54, 58. We've got the 50 degree Cleveland Reg 588, the 54 degree TaylorMade Mill Grind SB11, I don't know what that means, maybe bounce, and 58 degree Mizuno MP10 with 10 degrees of bounce. Now the difficult part is putting. I love my blade putter, but it's only great for greens that are like over 9 on the stimp meter. But here in Asia, which I'm using this now, whenever I play, I'm going to use this as the first choice. But if I find on the practice green the greens are too slow, like 8, 8.5, I have to go to the mallet. There's no other way I can get the ball to the hole or make a stroke without feeling like I'm slapping it. Okay, so with the blade on a slow green, I feel like I'm hitting at it. On the slow green with this mallet center shafted, face balanced, I don't know what you call that, but this one just feels much easier to get the ball to the hole. So depends on the green speed. If I were playing bent grass greens all the time, I'd use the blade. But if I'm playing these tropical grasses, the mallet comes in handy.